Tahoe. Today I want to talk about spiritual freedom. Spirit has asked me to speak into it and really break it down so that you can understand and see what that looks like. Some of you are already in the process, some of you are barely in the beginning, and some of you are not ready for it, and that's okay wherever you're at. However, I'm just going to share what's on my heart, and hopefully this will help you understand a little bit better on where we're at, what's going on, and where we're headed. You've been watching my videos for the last almost 3 years now, so you realize that when I bring these messages, it's creator speaking. Otherwise, I would have not had a clue of what was going to happen that we're now living and experiencing. So, if you have been watching and do know, then you take these messages, these downloads, and really apply them into your life. And that's what the purpose for these messages are, is to guide you and help you prepare and to really get yourself in this place where you're situated, so that as we transition, you're not free falling. It is a very important time for you to be planting your seeds so that your roots can be very sturdy and strong, and you are able to also move through these times in a way where you're not going to be experiencing what unfortunately so many might, because they didn't listen, they didn't prepare, they didn't believe. So with that in mind, the things that I'm going to share are some of the things that I've shared in the past, but this time I'm going to break it down for you so that you really understand how to apply it into your life if you haven't already started to. So I've been seeing the sea part, right? I think most of us have already heard about, the when the sea parted ways, and then, the people kind of walk through. I honestly have never been very religious, so I don't know the whole story. I just give you what Spirit gives me, and as far as visuals go. Some of you will understand that message a little bit more clear, but what it means to me is that humanity has split, right? There are two sides now. When this whole time I kept saying stay together, it's very important. However, where we're at now is that humanity has split, so it's very apparent who's where on what side. And so as I know that, creator saying, whatever side you're on, it doesn't matter. That's not the big deal. The big deal is that whatever side you're on, you have to make sure that you plant your roots, right? As I was saying, plant your seeds and get rooted in that, so that you can navigate through this next few months and year that's going to come up. And what I mean by that is that if you have not already situated yourself with reserves, then you need to do that. If you haven't already established yourself in a community, you need to do that. If you haven't already started investing in silver or gold, you need to do that. If you haven't already stopped funding these corporations, you need to do that. So these are things that I've been talking about for a while, and these are things that are very apparent now. So I'm going to give you an example or an analogy of what Creator just gave me a few minutes ago before I started this video. So I'm sitting here processing, I want to make sure that I relay these messages to you in a good way so that they reach you, and that you could really realize that it takes action. It doesn't just take you listening to these messages. It takes action for you to then implement them into your life and really, start doing the things that Creator's telling you to do, basically. Because again, it's not me. So those of you who just watch and it's like, oh, here's another message, and kind of go about your day, and you haven't done this, Creator saying it's your time is like running out. And so what the analogy is basically people are not really paying attention or taking these messages in and doing all the things that I just mentioned. And people are kind of waiting to see what's going on. Like, is it going to head that way? Are we going to, go into a worse situation? And so you're waiting and waiting and waiting and not putting all these things in place. And so it's and so what I see is creators showing me that it's like people are at, let's say a stadium, and then there's like different levels of, the rows of where people sit, the bleachers, if you will. And there's people that are very aware of what's going on, and they're sitting at the very bottom because if, something hits the fan, they want to make sure that they're at the bottom so they can get out fast. And then the ones that are, already doing the things that they need to do are more like by the exit because they're ready to just walk out. And then as the seats go higher, it's like they're further away from reality and not doing any of the things that you're supposed to be doing to get yourself situated. And so who has the most chance of getting out unscathed? It depends on what's going on, right? Because if it comes, something happens from the inside, the people from the out, from the closest to the exit will have more time. Now, that's pretty much what's happening right now. We are being destroyed from the inside, from within our own, what. They're doing everything in their power to have us rely on them, to, fear monger us into thinking that we don't have the ability, the capability to be self-sufficient. That is all lies. And the thing is that I've been giving you ideas and ways to be able to be self-sufficient, to not rely on them, and to really start pulling yourself away from those very people that are destroying humanity. And so, again, those ways are: establish your own community, start planning your own food, have reserves, and stop funding the corporations. It's very simple. And the faster that you understand how important it is that you do all this, then the more stable and rooted you are going to be as we go through this, and the faster this will be done. So, as you build communities, preferably build it in communities that are pretty much not within the what anymore. That is one of the reasons. Well, that is the reason why I opened up the ministry. We are in the private domain. And so if you don't already belong to a community, I've been opening the invitation for you to be part of it. What happens when you join one of these communities? You are protected from that. You're protected from having to do all these mandates, all these ridiculous things that they are imposing to people to do. And you are able to be in a community that is supportive. So the point of these communities are, to support each other and to barter and to make sure that everybody's needs are met and that everybody feels safe and that you don't have to rely on these places that don't care about you. So that's one of the benefits. The other thing is you don't want your child to go to school or to the, to school, those schools, then you can homeschool through these communities. And so all you have to do is become a member, and then you have the freedom to do homeschooling. So that's the other benefit. And there's just so many benefits because once you remove yourself from that, then that's how you become spiritually free. That's how then you actually have freedom of making choices. And so as you learn to start gardening, then you're not relying on their food that's poisoning us anyways. So you start being self-reliant and know what's actually going in your body and start becoming more clear in your thought, stronger in your decision making, and all this will eventually allow you to disconnect from that low vibration. You know how they talk about, we're in a 3D and we're ascending to the 5D. I don't like wording it that way, even though it's true. So I want to make sure it is true. I don't like wording it that way because I've noticed that then some people disconnect, because if they're not in that awareness yet, they don't get these 3Ds, 4Ds, 5Ds steps. But basically, it's like the bleachers that I just spoke about. Depending on where you're at in your awareness, then that's where you're going to be affected. And so, as you're preparing and doing all the things that I've been telling you to do, then you are closer to the safe zone, into the freedom zone, which is so important. And so the other big thing is start investing in gold and silver. So important. You want to protect the thing, the very thing that you've been working so hard for. And so if you're able to start, having a cushion and start saving it aside, that's what you need to start doing. I've shared links. I will share them again. But the sooner you do it, then you're going to be established. You're going to be rooted, instead of trying to wait to see what's going on. Like I said, things are happening the way I said they were going to happen. You don't have that much more time. You don't want to wait till the last minute and get stampede on the way of trying to get yourself established when this, what already hit the fan. You got to do it before. And that's the main message today. There's a very small window. And then there's that part of not funding these corporations. And people are like, well, then what do I do? Where do I go get my stuff? Well, you might still have to get your stuff, certain stuff. Yeah, I get it. But there are ways, trust me. Especially these ones that are so evil, so evil. Why would you still continue to support them? And I've shared a link to a private company, one that is, you buy here, and you're supporting a small, well, they're bigger now, because people that get it and that are making the switch over from removing themselves from the what, most of us are now buying from this particular company. And if you're ready to make that switch, and you're ready to do your part, because a lot of people keep asking me, well, how do I do my part? This is one of the ways. It's so easy. You just stop buying from them and start buying into companies like the one I'm going to share, that I've been sharing, and put your money there. Because again, not only are you contributing to the dismantling of these corporations, but you're also now supporting the people that are actually, aware of what's happening, and are making products that are actually healing, and that they're not harming, because they're natural products. They're cleaning products. They're personal hygiene products. There's so many things there that you can actually buy there. There's supplements. I'm taking some of those supplements, and I'm starting to feel so much better. I'm using their skin product, and I'm overall just feeling better, because I switched to a cleaner, cleaner products that we should be using anyways. So why would you keep poisoning yourself? Why would you, in the process of giving money to the people that are evil, then contribute to buying crap that you are taking, consuming, or using, that is killing you? So you're paying to kill yourself. It doesn't make any sense. So again, you can make the switch and do your part in that way. That's one of the ways. So I'm going to add all the links again, and hopefully you take in what I'm telling you, because you don't want to be the person that's stuck in the middle trying to establish yourself last minute, because you have plenty of time now, and the window is becoming way shorter in your ability to do that before you're not able to anymore. Hope you guys are doing well. Hang in there, as I've been saying this whole time. And if you do things now, you should be okay. everybody's still going to feel it. I think, just like the gas. I talked about the gas, and people are now more using their bikes. People are using smaller cars. And I talked about all this. So, yes, there's certain things that we're not going to be able to dodge and we're all going to feel. But at the very least, we will minimize the impact if you put all these things in place. So, thank you. I love you guys. And yeah, let's just keep supporting each other. I hope.